Rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. We'll start with the acceptance of the minutes from the April 17th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Public comment period. Any member of the public? Issues pertaining to Lewiston City Government not on the agenda. This is your time. Excellent. Okay. We'll start right off. Roll call.
All roll call votes for this meeting will begin with the Councilor of Ward 2.
Agenda item number 1.
Item number 1, public hearing for approval of outdoor concerts at Dufresne Plaza to be held in conjunction with the Sunday Indie Markets. Requested action to conduct a public hearing on an application from the Union of Maine Visual Artists for the afternoon concert series to be held at Dufresne Plaza on May 20th, June 15th, August 19th, September 16th, and October 21st, and to authorize a permit for an outdoor entertainment event as required by the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 10, Article 1, Section 10-3, to the Union of Maine Visual Artists for the outdoor concerts, contingent upon positive recommendations from the Police Department, Fire Department, Code Land Use Officer, and Code Health Officer regarding compliance with all regulations and compliance with all city ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Lyson, seconded by Councilor Cloutier. Discussion on the council. Public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Councilor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 2.
Item number 2, public hearing for approval of an outdoor entertainment permit for the Lewiston Farmers Market concert. Requested action to conduct a public hearing on an application for an outdoor entertainment event for the Lewiston Farmers Market concerts and to grant a permit for an outdoor entertainment event as required by the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 10, Article 1, Section 10-3, to the Lewiston Farmers Market Association for outdoor music concerts for the market, contingent upon positive recommendations from the Police Department, Fire Department, Code, Health Officer, and Land Use Inspector regarding compliance with all regulations and compliance with all city ordinances.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilor Lyson, seconded by Councilor LaJoy. Discussion on the council. Public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Councilor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 3.
Item number 3, public hearing for an extension of a liquor license to include outdoor service at Fishbones American Grill. Requested action to approve the request from Fishbones American Grill, 70 Lincoln Street, to authorize the extension of their liquor license to include outside service at their location, contingent upon a positive recommendation from the Police Department, Fire Department, and Code Enforcement Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor LaJoy, seconded by Councilor Cloutier. Questions from the council. Public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Council from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 4.
Item number 4, public hearing and first passage regarding an amendment to the Fire Prevention and Protection Ordinance. Requested action that the proposed amendments to the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 38, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 1, in general, Article 2, Fire Prevention Code, and Article 3, permits, receive first passage by a roll call vote, and to continue the hearing to the next regularly scheduled City Council meeting for final passage.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilor LaJoy, seconded by Councilor Lyson. Questions from the council. The public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Councilor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 5.
Item number 5, public hearing and resolve approving the federal fiscal year 2018 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, action plan budget and home budgets for submittal to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Requested action to adopt the resolve approving the fiscal year 2018 Community Development Block Grant Plan Action Plan budget for submittal to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Beam, seconded by Counselor Cloutier. Any questions for Link from the council?
Yeah, things have
me-
changed.
Okay,
Give me a second.
so we'll let you present it first.
While he's passing it out, let me explain what's going on here. A couple things have happened, the biggest one of which is we received notice today
About 2 hours ago.
from the Housing and Urban Development Department that we're going to receive about $90,000 in additional funds this year than we were planning on. So one of the issues is what to do with that additional money. Second thing, there was another change that was going to be recommended. As you know, we've been working on the handicapped accessible playground in Marcotte Park for some time. We actually now have an estimate for all of the work that needs to be done. That estimate came in slightly above what we had anticipated. So one of the recommendations we were going to make initially, before we even found out about the new money, was to move money we had originally recommended for Potvin Park, which was $51,000, to Marcotte Park so that we could finish that project up this summer. But with that as background, I'll let Link walk you through this because he's been trying to think through how we might best proceed, both with that adjustment to Marcotte Park and also in terms of the additional funding from HUD.
And Ed stole my thunder. I mean, that was the good news. Is you get word from HUD that, oh, by the way, you're getting $93,000 more than you thought you were. That was an 11.6% increase over last year's budget. So that is great news. The other thing I wanted to sort of publicly express is our thanks. I know we had worked over the last year on this whole spend down issue where we're not allowed to have more than 1.5 times what we received at the beginning of the year plus what we receive in loan repayments on hand 60 days before the end of the fiscal year. And Public Works, the Finance Department, Administration, and my department worked very hard over the last 8 months to make sure we hit that standard, and we were not allowed to have more than 1.5 times on hand, and we only had 1.16. So my thanks to the other departments who really helped us meet that goal. With really a very short time frame to make adjustments to the budget, but trying to stay in keeping with really what the Citizen Advisory Committee had recommended. Ed touched upon that first major change, which was when Dave Jones got the engineer's budget. We were quite a bit over what we had allocated to make sure we get Shane's Inspiration done this year. So we had taken $51,000 from Potvin Park, just zeroed that line item out, and pushed it over to Shane's Inspiration. Under that original budget, I shouldn't say the original, but the amended budget that was in your council packet, there were 12 agencies being funded at 2.3% under the cap that we can be at, and we had the Tree Street Youth getting $48,951 with the note that if we received more money, that the surplus would go to them. Last year, when we got word that we were getting more money, it was like $8,000 or $9,000. It wasn't $92,000. So when I looked at that, that would actually give them more than they asked for. So I said, how can we best use this money? What I handed out to you were 2 possible scenarios for you to consider. What I have listed here is proposed change number 2 would keep us with those 12 agencies that are not city agencies funded at a slightly higher percentage of their ask. We would take the $51,000 that we took away from Potvin Park, give it back to Potvin Park, keep Shane's at the higher level of funding of $126,000, and we would increase the funding that goes to Tree Street Youth from $48,950 up to $78,185. So that is one option. A third option would be increasing the number of non-city agencies that get funded from 12 to 14. That would add Pine Tree Society and Tedford Housing into the mix. That would have us funding 14 agencies. The increase, the agencies would get a slightly higher increase than they had originally. And then the same thing, we would have Potvin Park would get the $51,000 back, and Tree Street Youth would get $77,658. Yeah, so they're really within $500 under either scenario. So those are the two that I was able to come up with in between when I got news that we had the increase in funding and tonight. As I came down and first talked with Heather and Ed, they also said, you know, we could just stick all of that extra money into contingency, take some time to think about it, and come back. But I would still recommend that we at least approve the budget that was included in your council packets, which was taking that $51,000 away from Popton Park, giving it to Shane's Inspiration, and maintaining the other levels so we can move forward. So those are three options for you.
Councilor Marcotte?
Yes, if I heard you right, option 3 includes funding for Tedford housing.
It does.
That'd be the option I'd be interested in.
I thought that would be the case.
When I quickly read this before your presentation, I'm thinking it wasn't there at all, but
No, it is. But behind these cover sheets, there are spreadsheets that really lay it out, the actual numbers, and they're noticed right at the top. It's the last page of the document, so you'll see that Tedford would be funded at $3,555.
Councilor Cloutier?
Sorry, I wasn't first. So I also like option 3. I think it adds 2 agencies in there that weren't previously getting funded, so it ups the number of agencies we're able to help. It also ups the percentage that each of them are getting slightly, which I think is great. It allows us to keep Potvin Park and fund Shane's Inspiration at an increased level. And it gets Tree Street Youth more than they were originally getting, although not as much as option 2, but I think only slightly under what that second option is. So I would agree with Councilor Marcotte.
Councilor Beam?
Thank you. I agree with Councilor Cloutier.
Sorry, I stole your thunder.
Well said. No, that's fine. It's well said. I just wanted, I wanted to say I agree with that option and with both my councilors on both sides of me. I like the idea that we can include some more agencies, and it seems like a great option.
Kathy, would we need a brand-new motion for number 3, or can the two of them just amend?
We can amend it if you'd like. Just, I think it would be better to have a vote as opposed to just a friendly amendment, just for clarification that it is option 3 that the full group would like, and then we can just amend the language in the resolve here just to reference option 3 as opposed to the language that says the attached schedule of funds. Thank you.
Councilor Cloutier?
So I should also add that while if I could vote, I would be in favor of option 3, I actually can't vote on the CDBG budget because I sit on a steering committee for one of the suggested organizations. So I'll be recusing myself from the vote, but that was, I thought you might all be interested in my 2 cents anyway.
Councilor Ray?
Always.
Similar to Councilor Cloutier, I will be recusing myself from this vote, but I am supportive of option 3. I sit on a campaign board for one of the organizations being considered.
Councilor Marcotte?
couple clarifications. Who made the motion a second to begin with?
Councilor Beam, Councilor Cloutier.
Okay. So you can't vote, but seconded the motion?
Does that- I mean, I was getting eyes from the mayor like somebody needs to second this motion, and nobody else was stepping up to the plate, so.
It's quiet council tonight, which could be good later.
And if, not to overly complicate things, but one other item, the home budget, we got, I believe, an increase in funding there as well. I did not have the time, so I would recommend that we approve the budget as presented, and whatever, I'll be back looking to reallocate it in the future. So let's just approve it as what's been presented to you back on March 29th, and we'll come back. That extra money we'll put in contingency, and we'll be back, which was Heather's recommendation on how to go forward.
Councilor Lyson?
That would be the budget in the packet we'd approve, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm wondering, I know you had in your note here that Tree Street Youth would get the surplus if there was any allocated. Is that in that document, that written that way? If so, we don't want that to happen necessarily because we don't want all of the additional money to go to them. You had mentioned that earlier. It's more than they really requested.
It was really more than they requested. I believe that going with option 3, which does give them increased funding, but it does not give them the entire amount, achieves that. I think.
However, if we're voting tonight just for the budget in the packet, Isn't that what you're recommending?
On the home budget, it was in the packet, but
Okay.
on the CDBG budget, the
We can do
amended
the-
option 3, I think, will get us
Okay,
where we
great.
need to
Thank
be.
you for that clarified.
Council Marco?
I'd make a motion for an amendment to alter this motion with option 3.
I'll second that motion.
Motion for an amendment by Councilor Marcotte, seconded by Councilor Joy. Discussion on the amendment.
And I did have a question from earlier. Looking at the two new agencies, just like a refresher, Pine Tree Society, what is it that they do?
Pine Tree Society is a group that works with handicapped children. Honestly, I do not remember the specifics of their program. I know they have camps, and I think it was really funding specifically for their organization to help them with their camps
Camperships.
type thing.
Because it's new to this year.
It is new. I mean, they're an Auburn-based outfit, but they've got a regional presence. It's the first time they've ever requested funding from us. And it's been a couple of months since I read their application, but it's a good organization.
So, Councilor Marcotte, your amendment was to go with option 3 then?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right. Comments from the public? Back to the council. Oh, step right up.
I just want to be clear. So I'm from the Children's Advocacy Center of Androscoggin, Franklin, and Oxford County. This is the first year that we're receiving funding or up for funding. So I just wanted to be clear, is there an option where we may be considered for the full request of what we requested, or will be kept at the recommendation that was submitted from the original council?
Link?
Yeah, I'm sorry, which organization are you?
We're from the Children's Advocacy Center of Androscoggin, Franklin, Oxford County. We're a program of the Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Services.
Right. We have a citizen advisory committee who makes recommendations, and they go to great lengths to really score these on how well they help the city meet its consolidated plan goals.
Mm-hmm.
And to simply increase your level of funding and forgetting about all the other agencies just is not sort of playing fair with everybody else. We're trying to be consistent as we increase funding to the various agencies. Everybody's being treated fairly across the board.
Yeah, that was what I was just trying to figure out. There was a percentage you said that might be an increase for all of the people who might be up for consideration.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to get clear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, under option 3, the agencies that scored above 91 and above is going to receive 71% of their funding. Under option, those agencies that funded above 86 are getting 61%, and the ones scoring between
So everyone's getting a 1% increase over what they were originally.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was cutting the chase. Thank you.
Thank you.
God, you're good at this.
All right. And back to the council. And we're voting on the amendment.
Yes, so we're voting on the amendment from Councilor Marcotte, seconded by Councilor Joy, to amend the resolve by inserting the reference to proposed change option 3.
Call the roll.
Okay, Councilor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Abstain.
I'm sorry, you did. Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote.
Mr. Mayor.
And Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, motion passed by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you all.
And now you need to vote on the resolve as amended.
Any additional comments before we call the roll?
Councilor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
And Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 5-0.
Item number 6.
Item number 6, final budget public hearing for the fiscal year 2019 municipal budget. Requested action to conduct a final budget public hearing to receive citizen input and communication regarding the proposed fiscal year 2019 municipal budget.
So moved.
Second.
It's a public hearing. I don't think we need a motion.
Oh,
Thanks, though.
I got really excited about it.
I see that. All right, so public hearing on the municipal budget.
Shanna Cox, 119 Ash Street. I just have a point of clarification. Are we considering the school budget as part of the municipal budget, and are these items out of order, or should school committee comments be reserved for the following agenda item?
School should be reserved for the following.
Thank
Yep. Anyone else with comments on the municipal budget? Okay, public hearing is closed. Agenda item number 7.
Item number 7, resolve approving the fiscal year 19 budget for the Lewiston School Department. Requested action to approve the resolve approving the fiscal year 19 budget for the Lewiston School Department.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Ray, seconded by Councilor Lyson. Any comments from the council? To the public?
Still Shanna Cox at 119 Ash Street. Just having missed the meeting on the 24th and some of the discussion that had gone there, as a parent of 3 children in the public school system, I just want to kind of state for the record that I find the education budget to be an investment into our future workforce and into our community. And each year I struggle with the fact that the framing from the superintendent and the school committee, both in the stages that they bring it to the public and then that they bring it to the city council, really talks about the minimum level of investment, the minimum possible match, the way in which to keep, reduce, or skim the budget, and it doesn't frame it in the context of investment. And so as the city councilors today consider this budget and make their considerations, I do hope that you're considering an investment. I know that some of the comments resolved around what our investment is bringing us, or ROI, right? And so I hope that we continue to have those conversations. I hope we continue to look for excellence in our students and in the schools that support them. But I also hope that we recognize that that takes an investment, and we cannot expect better outcomes with a reduced budget, and then we don't want to leave money on the table that could be leveraged or matched from state funds. We're a service center. We have a high special needs population. It's because we have 2 excellent hospitals that are drawing families here so that they can get the supports they need. And there's a host of other supports in this community. And so we have a disproportionate amount of children with special needs in our community compared to other communities of similar size and demographics. And so as we consider kind of the way the school budget plays out, I would just hope that we're looking to make the appropriate investment and to watchdog for excellent results as we do so, but that the two need to go hand in hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2,
No?
Ward 3,
Yes.
Ward 4,
Yes.
Ward 5,
Yes.
Ward 6,
Yes,
Ward 7,
No.
Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 5 to 2.
Agenda item number 8.
Item number 8, budget recommendations from the Finance Committee regarding the proposed fiscal year 2019 municipal budget. Requested action to receive and review the recommendation from the Finance Committee regarding the proposed fiscal year 2019 municipal budget.
I believe we got those in our packets last week.
Yes, the
Is anybody
paper-
presenting them,
the
or?
paper copy was passed out last week.
Okay, the Finance Committee furnished, and it was discussed also during a recent workshop as well, that they are cognizant of making sure that the LCIP focuses on the public safety and current needs before looking at new projects, and looking at due diligence as far as what gets capitalized to make sure the city staff is encouraging minimal salaries associated with that, and other expense items are not included in capital purchases. As far as the use of unreserved surplus, they agreed to the focus on staying within the targeted floor that the council attends to focus on at the 10%. And then looking at the bidding system, and it appears to favor favor the bidder more than it does the city. So we would like to make sure that documents in the RFPs include a lot of flexibility as far as timing goes, where the project needs to be constructed and or completed, and the project scope design as well, so that most of the projects are able to have as many bidders as possible to get more favorable pricing on this. And they are also pleased to see that the the City Council and the Code Enforcement Office will be proposing a new apartment multifamily registration program, and they would look at 2 fee schedules, are recommending 2 fee schedules associated with that, one for owners and one for non-owner occupied buildings. And they are not recommending any additional staffing cuts other than the open positions that are up for consideration, but most of them are being recommended filled at the city administrator's budget. But to continue to rework job descriptions as staff turns over, to make sure we're using the staffing we do have as efficiently as possible. And I know both Councilor Marcotte and Councilor Lyson both sit on the Finance Committee. I don't know if you have any other additions regarding the recommendations or not.
Councilor Marcotte?
I don't have any additions. I was confused by the agenda item, probably because the last time it was the workshop, right?
Correct.
And this is the official hearing.
That's correct.
Do we take an action on this, or is this just a discussion?
Yes, you vote to receive it.
To receive it?
Yes.
Well, as far as my input on this from the Finance Committee perspective, I agree with 90% of it. A little concerned about the housing rental registration, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that as the year progresses.
Councilor Lyson?
Yeah, I sit on the committee, and, you know, one of the most important components is the rental registration program, so I guess we disagree a little bit, but yeah, I mean, this is a consensus type thing. Not everybody on the committee has to agree with every point, but we try to reach a consensus model and understand what's being put forward. So again, it's a committee that does a lot of work and reviews a lot of things, and I think there are some changes that could be made in the bidding process, I think, and we've been trying to, explore those options. Some may take some changes in some of the policies, but others we could probably do without that. So, but thank you.
And just a footnote, it was a 5-0 vote. So 2 city councilors, 3 people from the general public appointed by the council president,
yes.
right?
Well, I appoint the councilors, but
Okay. Since we've now received it, I'll take the motion and the second to receive it.
so moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Cloutier, seconded by Councilor Lyson. Anyone want to weigh in from the public on the recommendation? All right. Council, call the roll.
Council from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes?
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 9.
Item number 9, order authorizing the city administrator to provide city services and funds for city nonprofit organization activities in accordance with the fiscal year 2019 City Council approved list. Requested action to approve the order authorizing the city administrator to provide city services and funding for city nonprofit organization activities in accordance with the fiscal year 2019 City Council approved list.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilor LaJoy, seconded by Councilor Cloutier. Questions from the council? Councilor Marcotte.
Couple of questions. First thing I noticed on the resolve, city policy restricting loaning of tables and chairs. That's something that we waive frequently, or?
About the, I wouldn't say frequently. I think normally it's waived for a couple of events at this point in the process, and maybe one time a year, when something else comes forward. That policy, I think, was generally adopted because we were frequently lending out that stuff, and it was being damaged.
So there's no deposit or anything in this case?
Not aware of anything coming up.
And the chart that accompanies, I think in our discussions, there were cash requests, and we're only funding 1 out of the 5 cash requests.
That's correct.
And when I look at the various columns and the subtotal columns, there is no number on this sheet that actually reflects the amount, total amount involved. Because I think that those requests that we're not funding are in that total that comes up to 54,000.
That's correct. This was the spreadsheet that was furnished during the workshop. So the order addresses the $10,000 that is a cash donation to the Liberty Festival, and the balance of the in-kind total $40,841.45.
Say the last part again.
The total of the in-kind, the true in-kind contributions, $40,841.45.
Okay, so it's less.
That's correct.
The 13,400.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Where were we? All right. Public. All right, back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 10.
Item number 10, resolve authorizing the use of $1,500 from the Farrar Fund for costs of basic necessary services for needy individuals. Requested action, to approve the resolve authorizing the use of up to $1,500 from the Farrar Fund for the expenses of basic necessary services for Lewiston residents where such costs are not covered by assistance programs and as determined by the Director of Social Services.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilor Marcotte, seconded by Councilor Cloutier. Discussion on the council.
Could we get just a little bit of background on the FIRA fund? If I'm pronouncing that right.
I think we all pronounce it a little bit differently. So that was a bequest that actually was here when I started here. Back in 2008, the city council made the authorization to allow the accumulated interest at that point to be used for medical reimbursements for prescription drugs and those type of things. I think it also includes glasses as well, but I don't think Sue's here, but anyway. So with the cost of those increasing, contributions are the annual appropriations were as high as $2,500. Obviously, with the interest rate environment that we've experienced recently, we're not accumulating enough interest to kind of keep pace with that $2,500 annual appropriation. So last year, the city council approved a reduction to $2,000. This year, I'm recommending $1,500 to be appropriated for this purpose. Just as a reminder, the initial bequest, the $18,551, stays in perpetuity. We do not touch the principal balance.
And this is probably a local citizen that donated the money?
Yes.
To the public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 11.
Item number 11, resolve approving the final adjustments to the fiscal year 2019 municipal budget. Requested action, to adopt the resolve approving the final adjustments to the fiscal year 2019 municipal budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Cloutier, seconded by Councilor Lyson. Discussion on the council. To the public. Back to the council. Councilor Cloutier.
I just wanted to say thanks to city staff again for helping us through the budget process. You guys do a great job, and Heather Heather especially.
You're welcome.
And I know that it's not fun, so thank you.
Council Marcotte.
Yes, with all of the budget items in tonight's agenda, I'm trying to keep one separated my mind from another. No, this is just the adjustments that we made, particularly to the operating account, correct?
That's correct.
And the net effect is savings of $709,000 on the true city side, and then the enterprise funds, water, sewer, and stormwater. Only one of them has a $26,000 depletion, and the other two are on the savings side of $155,000 and $149,000.
That's correct. Just to be clear, though, Councilor Marcotte, the $709,754 are expenditure adjustments only, negative expenditure adjustments. We also had $98,878 in additional revenue adjustments as well for general fund. That's on the first page.
Okay, so the 98,000 is not incorporated in the 709.
That's correct, because those are revenue adjustments.
So all the positive numbers are basically cost-cutting.
That's correct.
Or increased revenues.
That's correct.
Anyone else on the council? Public? Oh, public? Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 12.
Item number 12, resolve making an appropriation for utility and special revenue funds for municipal budget year 2019. Requested action to approve the resolve making an appropriation for utility and special revenue funds for municipal budget year 2019.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilor LaJoy, seconded by Councilor Cloutier. Discussion on the council. Public. Back to the council. Councilor Marcotte.
Again, similar question. The three enterprise funds, can you remind us of what the over and under is, if we're expending more than we're bringing in, or
Yep.
less?
2 seconds.
While Heather's looking for those, for everybody at home and in the audience, there are no utility rate increases proposed in this year's budget, so I think that's some good news that everybody can take home.
The water fund is using cash of $336,787, leaving an estimated FY19 ending cash balance of $854,078. The sewer division is using $111,398 and is leaving an estimated FY19 ending cash balance of $674,197. The stormwater fund is essentially breaking even at $623 and has an ending cash balance projected for FY19 at $812,223.
What's that, Council? Okay. To the public? Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counsel from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 13.
Item number 13, resolve authorizing the use of $4,557,203 from the general fund unassigned fund balance for capital outlay purchases and other one-time costs. Requested action to approve the resolve authorizing the use of $4,557,203 from the general fund unassigned fund balance for capital outlay purchases and other one-time costs.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Cloutier, seconded by Councilor, Pettingill. I said his name all night. Ooh, all right. Discussion on the council. To the public. Back to the council. Councilor Marcotte.
This $4,550,000, is that a combination of one-time purchases from the operating and some of our LCIP?
That's
correct.
It's we had almost a 50-50 split. We move $2,413,470 from LCIP projects over to fund balance.
And the net result is approximately, on the LCIP, which is this the same one or a later agenda item?
LCIP is on May 15th. We're not approving the LCIP tonight.
Approving the LCIP. So this is, but if we wanted to take a closer look at some of these items, that would be available to lower the amount that we're borrowing over our ordinance, our pay-down ordinance.
As part of the workshop, the last workshop that we had, I believe a week ago Tuesday, kind of the listing, the original listing of the FY19 LCIP projects, and then we kind of allocated it out as far as $2,459,350 we were deferring. We added $2.4 million to fund balance, which is included in this $4.4 million total, or $4.5 million total. And then we were looking at using other sources for $706,000 of those LCIP projects, which would leave a remaining, out of the original $15 million, $9,517,000 that will be recommended for bonding on the 15th.
Okay. And I made a request last week to better understand the debt limit pay down at 80% would have been $7,027,000. And I asked for 100%. I received 97 and 90%. But looking at 100%, it would be $8.784 million. And my interest is to find a way to get under 100%. So we're looking at approximately $700,000, I think, between that 8.784 and the 9.517 that we just heard.
I know what you're saying. Hang on just a second. So essentially, to get to the 100% limit, we would need to reduce the bond authorization by an additional $732,815.
Repeat that number again.
$732,815.
I'm just trying to weigh that in relation to voting up or down on this particular agenda item. Because I'm not interested in borrowing more than the 100% number. And our ordinance requires 5 votes to breach the 80% number, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any comments from council? Public? Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
No.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 6 to 1.
Agenda item number 14.
Item number 14, adoption of municipal budget appropriation resolve for fiscal year 2015. Requested action to approve the municipal budget appropriation resolve for fiscal year 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Lyson, seconded by Counselor Cloutier. Discussion on the council. Public? Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
No.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 6 to 1.
Agenda item number 15.
Item number 15, order authorizing the city administrator to execute a settlement agreement and release with Franklin Property Trust regarding 795 Lisbon Street. Requested action to approve the order authorizing the city administrator to execute a settlement agreement and release with Franklin Property Trust regarding 795 Lisbon Street.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Marcotte, seconded by Counselor LaJoy. Any discussion? Public? Council? Call the roll.
Counsel from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6? Yes. Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Agenda item number 16.
Item number 16, order authorizing the city administrator to execute a memorandum of understanding with Franklin Property Trust resolving a dispute involving an agreement with Franklin Property Trust dated December 16th, 2014. Requested action to approve the order authorizing the city administrator to execute a memorandum of understanding with Franklin Property Trust resolving a dispute involving an agreement with Franklin Property Trust dated December 16th, 2014.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Counselor LaJoy, seconded by Counselor Ray. Discussion on the Counselor Marcotte.
Ed, are there any of the neighbors in opposition to this?
I believe there's at least one who has contacted our attorneys and indicated he is not happy with this. I will point out that none of the neighbors signed away their rights to proceed individually. So they are not bound by this. This is basically between the city and Franklin, and any neighbor or group of neighbors could continue and take action on their own.
Okay, to the public? Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Agenda item number 17.
Item number 17, amendments to the traffic schedule regarding parking prohibited on a portion of North Temple Street. Requested action to adopt the proposed amendments to the traffic schedule for a portion of North Temple Street prohibiting parking on the even side of the street during the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday during the months of September through June.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Lyson, seconded by Counselor LaJoy. Discussion on the council. Public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1.
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7 to 0.
Agenda item number 18.
Item number 18, resolve authorizing the organizers of the Build Maine Conference to place a mural on the Pine Street side of the Centreville parking garage. Requested action to approve the resolve authorizing the organizers of the Build Maine Conference to place a mural on the Pine Street side of the Centreville parking garage.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Cloutier, seconded by Counselor Pettengill.
Just wanted to announce we have an amendment to the resolve.
That's correct. There is an amendment that was passed out earlier. Adila Mohammed was originally recommended to be on the committee. She asked that William Lowe, who is also with LA Arts, be the representative. He's also the curator at the Bates College Museum of Art.
Okay.
So I think that's an appropriate substitution.
So do I.
So we'll pass that as amended. Public? Oh,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I just, on the information portion, it seems to be cut off at the end. Was there more information you wanted to give us? It says, this resolve.
It probably said this resolve will authorize the council
Okay. I figured as much,
to
but.
set up the committee.
Okay.
Kathy.
To the public.
I'm sorry. My fault.
Too
Back.
verbose.
Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Ward 4? Ward
Yes.
5?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes.
Ward 7?
Yes.
And Ward 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Agenda item number 19.
Item number 19, award of bid for sale of 148 Bartlett Street. Requested action to award the bid for the sale of 148 Bartlett Street.
Councilor Marcotte?
I'd like to make a motion to award the contract to Mr. Springer for the bid of $10,500.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Marcotte, seconded by Councilor Joy to sell the property to the Springers. Any further discussion on the council? Public? Back to the council. So call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Word 4?
Yes.
Word 5?
No.
Word 6?
Yes.
Word 7?
Yes.
Word 1?
No.
Motion passed by a vote of 5-2.
Agenda item number 20.
Item number 20, continuation, not canceling, continuation of request for abatement of property taxes for applications submitted under Title 36, Section 841, subsection 2, to the May 15th, 2018 City Council meeting. Requested action to continue action on this item to the May 15th, 2018 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Lyson, seconded by Councilor Cloutier. Discussion on the council. To the public. Back to the council. Call the roll.
Counselor from Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3?
Yes.
Word 4?
Yes.
Word 5?
Yes.
Word 6?
Yes.
Word 7?
Yes.
And Word 1?
Yes.
Motion passed by a vote of 7-0.
Reports and updates.
Mr. Mayor, one quick item. I think I sent out an email, and I don't know if everybody had a chance to look at it, about the summer schedule. As you know, we cut down to one meeting in July and August. We had proposed July 17th and August 14th. I have not heard back from, I think I heard back from 3 counselors. 2 of those counselors indicated that July 17th was not good for them. The alternative to July 17th would be July 10th. I'll send out another reminder tomorrow if you could let us know about your availability. I'd appreciate it so we can go ahead and set something up. Kathy, is that reasonable?
Council Marcotte.
Those are Tuesday nights, right?
Yes, they're Tuesday nights.
The 10th is fine for me.
Also for me.
Same.
I'll be here.
I'll say.
Okay, so the 10th?
Good.
Okay, so we'll do the July 10th and August 14th. And there'll be an item on the next agenda.
Any other business, councilors? Councilor Cloutier?
Kathy, I was just wondering if you could give, for the benefit of the public and those watching at home, the information about the ranked choice voting information session at the library.
Sure, and we'll actually take this opportunity to do 2 quick election updates if we could. We want to remind the residents that we do have a citywide election this coming Tuesday, May 8th. All voting will take place at the Longley Elementary School, across from the Colisee. The purpose of that election is to vote on this school budget. It's the annual school budget referendum election. The City Council approved the school budget this evening, but by state law, it does have to go to the voters for final approval. So that is scheduled for this coming Tuesday. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. Anyone who is unable to go to the polls but who'd like to vote is welcome to call the city clerk's office to request an absentee ballot. By state law, the deadline to request an absentee ballot is the Thursday before the election. So this Thursday, May 3rd, at 4 p.m. is the last chance for people to call and request an absentee ballot. But they do have the opportunity to call tomorrow or Thursday or come into the office and vote in person. And all absentee ballots have to be back by Tuesday night, election night, May 8th, by 8 p.m. And so the other thing, thank you, Counselor, is May 29th, which is a Tuesday afternoon from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., the Maine Secretary of State, Matthew Dunlap, will be in Lewiston at the Lewiston Public Library presenting a citizen education forum regarding ranked choice voting. So that is free and open to the public. They are only conducting at this point 4 scheduled citizen outreach sessions around the entire state that at least have been advertised, Presque Isle, Bangor, Biddeford, and Lewiston. So they are expecting a large turnout from sort of the mid-southern Maine area. So Tuesday, May 29th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the library.
Thanks.
Councilor Lyson?
Yeah, could you give your office hours for people to come in if they want to come in to vote?
Yes, thank you. 8:30 to 4, same as City Hall, so 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Voters are welcome to come into City Hall and vote an absentee ballot right here.
And that's tomorrow and Thursday is the only 2
Correct.
days left?
Correct,
Okay, thank you.
yes.
Ms. Cox, looks like you have something else for us.
I do. I apologize. Shanna Cox, 119 Ash Street. I just think it's important to note, and it was missed in these updates, that this Thursday, May 3rd, 6:30 p.m. at Geiger Elementary is the public school budget overview and question and answer for those who are at home and who have questions about the budget, where the money is going, or what our investments are doing. They should attend 6:30 at Geiger on Thursday.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Lyson?
Yes. I have a motion to go into executive session pursuant to MRSA Title I, Section 4056A, to discuss a personnel matter.
All in favor? Unanimous? Yes.